How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted to the workshop this week. If you're new, it does not mean these skins are available for sale yet, or that they ever will be. The game's lead dev, Helk, picks 8 or so every week that make it in, and then it kind of just moves on. So that's how it works there if you're new. Starting out here, we've got a bandana and poncho set, and it's the Barbarian set, as you can see stitched along there. There's also a little logo with 2 hatchets, which is very barbarian Nordic kind of thing going on there. And as you can see, it kind of has like a nice kind of fall leaf camo thing going on. It has a nice little recycle tab back there too, which is funny. But there you go. Next, have you ever wanted to be a holographic deer? Well, if this one makes it in, you could be, because, man, this is one bright poncho and deer mask. I mean, wow, look at that. But the gold is definitely a nice touch for the rest of the mask, and then the little kind of ties holding it together. Definitely something very unique. Next, we have a continuation in the pirate set. So we did see 2 pieces make it in before the holiday. Maybe we'll see the rest of it here. Pop right in with the hide shirt and shorts. I know they're called pants, but technically they're shorts. Meanwhile, they kind of go past the knees. I don't know. I don't want to argue it with myself here in a video. But there you go. It's got a map all over it like before. And a nice little Jolly Rogers with a arrow going through it there. Next, we've got something a little more bright for you. It's the Cutie tracksuit by Johnny. And yeah, there you go. It actually says princess in jewelry along there, which is hilarious. There you go. Back here it says cutie. Kind of like, you know, the Victoria's Secret where they have juicy on the ass. So it's definitely funny. I love the play on that, and it's very, very, very funny. Next, we've got a teddy bear set for you, and there's actually a teddy rug, if you remember kind of a gray, friendly-looking bear rug. Well, this is the hoodie and pants to match along with it. So there you go, and yeah, it's actually in a hoodie. You'd put it up, and you would have little bear ears, and it doesn't actually have a face drawn on it, like a lot of the other sets. So it's, you know, it's a little less cosplay and a little more kind of just, you know, bear-themed, more or less. Next, we've got a nice kind of rugged camo set. This is the Rattlesnake set by Marco. And yeah, it just has a lot of kind of like urban and earthy colors mixed together. Could really kind of help you blend in a lot of places. I mean, look at that. That blends pretty well even with just the shoreline here. So, I mean, definitely a very nice set for the fact of that. We got one more hoodie and pants combo for you. It's the Mountain Rescue set, or Mountain Rescue Team set, I should say. It's actually a bit of a longer name there. But as you can see here, they have all the straps to attach to different harnesses and so forth. And then they've got all the support harnesses on the back here for everything they would need to do some mountain climbing, maybe be dropped out of a helicopter to save somebody. With spring on the horizon and summer coming around, we're starting to see some fruit and vegetable themed stuff, and watermelon seems to always be popular. So here we go, some watermelon. If it's getting a little bit hotter where you are, I know it sure is here over in Arizona, well, then you can just put a watermelon on your head. And what I like is that they actually did the inside to look like it is literally a cut open watermelon, just not a helmet painted like one. Next, we have a continuation of a very popular set, the Hard Suit set. And it is the road sign, so I mean, it's everything you expect. Very, very, you know, tough looking, very armored, very hardened suit. Haha. I mean, who would have guessed from the name, right, guys? But yeah, I think it translated very nicely over to the road sign set. Next road sign set is a little more on the goofier side, or one could say cheesy if they wanted to make a bad joke. And yeah, there it is. I mean, I made the bad joke, so one way or another, very cheesy, delicious, don't eat it. Next, we've got some high qual sets for you, and this one here is the Skull Guard set. And yeah, it just has this kind of nice, like, digital kind of skull look to it, but it also kind of looks like it's coming through like a mask itself, so it's like a mask in a mask. We got a little bit of maskception going on here, and yeah, it just kind of has a different kind of look to it from a lot of armor sets that have come in. Next, we have something a little more regal. It is the Arum Forge set. And you've got this very regal lion. Maybe it's something different, actually, because it looks like it's got a horn there. But one way or another, the face is done really well on this. I think they did a great job. There you go. You can see the back, some nice gold trim and designs. There we have it. Did I mention it was time for watermelon? Well, we've got another completely different person who made a very similar watermelon thing, and this one is a high qual set. And as you can see, there's bullet holes as well as bites taken out of it, so they've definitely had a bit of a rough time here. But yeah, it's definitely a neat little design, and always cool to see when people add their own design to it, like with the eyes bitten out and the cracks and so forth. Everything, you know, every little change makes a bit of a difference. Next, we move on to our deployables, and first up we've got this cute little caterpillar bag. The whole thing just looks like a scrunchy little green caterpillar, and in case you weren't sure what it was, there's a cute little angry one drawn on the pillow for you. So there you go. Definitely a silly little bag. And speaking of silly, we've got some more food-related things with a sushi bag for you here. This one is the sushi sleeping bag. Very simple. Then we've got a small box for you in the continuation of the camouflage set by Mishka, and it's got a snow and a forest variation, so I don't know which one Hulk would go for if he did, but yeah, you can also see through them, so I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not, but I do like that it looks like there's like a chain link kind of mesh kind of thing going on under there, so it's not just, you know, magical floating cloth mesh. Next, over here, we've got a super slug box for you with a small box made to look like the new shotgun slug box there, or shell box I should say, not slugs. This is actually for the shells, as you can see it very clearly says on there, 12 gauge shells. Then moving on, we've got some more book box for you, and this one over here has got some unique ones to space. Then we've got minicopter, the handmade minicopter guide, radiation, pros and cons, and then we've got, what's that say, Oxum survival guide. So there you go, the gas stations had their own survival guide, so to say. But yeah, and then of course you can see the road to space here on the top, right there. Next we've got the Lotus box, and it's back and it's green, and that's about it. So I don't know if that's anything too special for anyone, if they wanted a different version color of it. I think it would be cooler if they did a different design at least, but hey, there it is. Next, you should recognize this set right away, as we've been seeing quite a few pieces make it into the shop. It is the Abyss Crate. Then over here we've got another fancy box for you with the Doom box. Then over here, this is not a loot box, but it sure looks like one. It is the military large box. Moving on from there, we've got the start of what could be a box collection, who knows? It is the Tor case guns. Then over here, we've got a electrical looking device for you here. It is the electronics box. It does come in a blue and a green version. It basically changes out this green for blue. Then we've got some furnaces for you. The first one here is going to be part of the Fireflies set, of course. And as you can see, it's covered in vines and little fireflies, which of course will light up once we light the furnace. Then over here, we've got the Piping Hot Furnace, I believe. Yeah, Piping Hot Furnace. And you can see it's actually made with like stacked rocks that are, you know, placed in here. It's a very cool design, and I really love the clean look of it. Then over here we have what would be a very popular locker, the From Hell locker, and it has this cool cutout to where you see into the lockers and there's this thing going on. So it's definitely a very unique design, and besides it being just a very popular set, this cutout makes it a very unique locker just in general. Moving on, we've got a rug for you, and it's the Cobalt flag. I mean, who wouldn't want to fly the Cobalt flag in their base at one hopes of one day maybe we'll take it to the moon or wherever, space, somewhere. Something. Moving on, we've got doors, and the first one here is our only wooden door this week with the Forge door. And yeah, you can see this side, and of course we've got to pop through and take a look at the other side. Definitely a very nice little medieval look. Then we've got our first metal door here. It comes in the glow and a non-glow version. It's the Burnt Bones door. I think we can see why. Then we've got a nice one here. It is the pop-up sheet metal door by Diva Dan. Always love the humor in his sets. Moving along, we've got another kind of cool little side door here with the jukebox door. Like the little Rust logo and AK right there. Moving on, we've got a door for you that has all the different tags on it. It's the Ping door. Then over here, we've got this beautiful little solar light with the Star Magic door. Moving on, we've got the Metal Miner's door, which looks like it's put together with all sorts of rail lights and scrapped metal pieces. Then we've got the return of the Bismuth with the Bismuth double door, which also comes in a glow and non-glow. Then moving along, we've got what looks like a very dangerous kind of door to go through. This is the Broken Metal double door. Then we've got a single garage door for you this week, and it's the I'm Friendly version 2. And yeah, it's just one of those things that just fits Rust, you know what I mean? Everyone always tries the I'm Friendly line. Why not put it on your base? And add some stars and rainbows and peace signs with it, right? Then moving on, we've got some single armor doors for you, and the first one is the Death Machine. Then, of course, we gotta take a look at the back. Then over here we've got a continuation of the Monster set by Keck. So over here it's a camera on the back, which I thought was pretty cool. And then on the front, it's some monster eyes. Then moving on, we've got the armored armor door. So there you go, the armored door, guys. Yep. I'm just gonna leave it with that. And lastly, we've got another version of the Constellations double armor door, and most of this set is in, so hey, maybe this will make it. We'll just have to see. All right, let's go ahead and toggle those hatches here. Goodbye, eyes. And this one, you actually, you know, it's worth looking on the other side because, you know, it does like the camera shutter. See? That's cool. And then, of course, we got the eyes on this one again. All right, and on to our glow. Oh, I love the glow on that. Little tiny spotlights. Man, that thing really pops out. Oh, that locker's so cool. Alright, and then we got the furnaces here. See all those beautiful little glow bugs everywhere. Then we got the glow on our boxes. There's that green lotus. And the glow version of these is just kind of the titles, which I thought was cool. You'd actually read it better that way. And yeah, that does it for our glow. All right, let's move on to those tools and weapons. And first off, we've got a very creepy clown hammer for you. I'm not always the biggest fan of creepy clowns myself. I mean, I'm not scared of them, but they don't. It's not something I'm gonna purposely go out of my way to go find. So yeah, this is oh, there you go. See it? Wrong button there, man. I don't know, but there's the Children's Nightmare hammer. Next, we've got a friendly little rock. It is the Old Plush Friend rock, and there you go. Next best thing from a Pookie Bear. Moving on, we've got a very shimmery rock for you. It is the Unique Artifact rock. Then we've got some avocado tools for you with avocado stone tools. Very good looking. The avocado texture actually looks pretty good like an avocado. I love the little cobalt sticker on it there. And of course, it has to have a matching pick to go with it. Then we've got another tool set for you, but metal tools. These are, of course, the special set. Never would have thought that, right? You're thinking like firefighters or something like that. No, just called special. That's it. Special. And of course, it has its matching pick. Definitely a very nice, kind of bright, colorful set. Then we've got a silly little bone club for you. Of course, it is the Frog Bone Club, and it has all the ridiculousness you would expect from the set. Silly tongue and eyes and angriness and everything. It is just great looking. Then we've got a silly bone knife for you. The whole thing's supposed to look like a giant bullet, and I think they nailed the idea with the space they can work with. Definitely a silly one, for sure. Then we've got a very creative combat knife for you, the Dead Poet's Knife. Look at that, it has like dripping wax, and the blade is shaped like a feather. Okay, of course, practically it would snap off the first time you use it, but hey, I mean, it's a game. We can have some cool looking stuff, right? Then we've got another very cool looking thing. It's this crazy Ripper sword. I mean, look at this thing. They did such a really cool job on it. This is the modern military sword. And yeah, it just makes me wish we had a kind of like Ripper from Fallout or chainsaw kind of sword. I know we have the chainsaw, but I mean, it's not as cool as an actual chainsaw sword, right? Then we've got another really cool looking sword right here. You can see it's the makeshift handmade Harpoon. Definitely a really cool idea for a sword skin. Next, we've got one last sword for you, and this one, well, no, the blade didn't shrink. It's done on purpose. This is the Thin Sword. Very simple name, but it kind of makes it look a little bit more like a rapier, and yeah, I think some people would definitely dig that. Moving on, we've got some bows for you, and the first one here is part of the cargo set, so of course it has some nice cutout, and a little, you know, actual glow little spot right there. So if we go ahead and kill the lights, it actually doesn't have the glow one on there, but it does look like it. You can see, oh, you know, how many kills or something, like a little kill counter, so to say. Then we've got another bow for you. This one is more on the metallic side with some skulls and so forth. As you see, you drop back here, you can see some of the metal, looks like kind of like corrugated steel, and some skulls punched in there. It is the Bone Breaker bow. Next, we've got a DB for you, and well, you should be able to guess what set it is. It is the Double Barrel Nana. There we go, Double Barrel Nana, like that. Definitely a fun addition to the banana set, for sure. Then we've got a Pumpy to move on to, and this one looks like a race car. This is the Kuro Sport pump, and oh man, I love that. Looks like, you know, you got the exhaust manifold there, and they did a really good job. There's some gears in the handle. The whole thing looks really, really cool. Aiming down the sights, you've got a nice little gold tip to complement it. Then last in this group, but first in our pistols, we've got this snaky looking python. This is the Yoka Aspid, and yeah, the whole thing just looks like a snake scale design, which is very, very cool. Next, we've got some Revies for you, and this one is all purpled up. It is the Demonic Revolver, and yeah, as you can see, there's all sorts of little demon skulls here and there. On the back, there's a mouth with a tongue coming out. And as you reload there, you can see that there's quite a few little demon skulls on the chamber. Next, we've got the No Mercy Python. No, I'm just kidding. It is a revolver. The No Mercy Revolver. We don't have it in yet. It's one of the yet missing pieces of this very big set. So I could see this one possibly popping in. It's definitely a very clean looking revolver. Aiming down the sides here, you've got black versus white, as you would expect for this set. And there's that reload. Next, we do have a Python for you, and this one here is the White Raider set. And yeah, as you can see there, it says Raiders, and yeah, it's kind of the color for the Raiders football team in America as well, the white and black. So I don't know if that was on purpose with the white, black, and gold. We'll just have to see, but one way or another, there's that. Aiming down the sights, there's kind of a faded red tip to it. Next, we've got another Python, and this one's more of the kind of military kind of cut look. It is the Lime Python. So there you go. Aim down the sights, you've got a bright yellow but not glowing tip. And there's that reload. Next, we've got a couple saps for you, and this one is part of the line art sap. There's a green kind of turquoise one, and then this is the orange version. Aiming down the sights here, you see it has a white tip against the black and silver. And there's the reload. Next, we've got another sap for you, and it's part of the chemical burns set. As you can see, there's the chemical burns going on right there. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of a brown versus the kind of tan polymer. And there's that reload. Lastly, we've got one more sap for you, lots of them this week, and this should look pretty familiar to you. It's the remote control sap, and it has all the various looking kind of like buttons and directional kind of thingy doodads that you can find in various monuments across Rust. Aiming down the sights, not too much going on, just kind of normal iron sights and blank space there. Could have probably made a little bit of use there, maybe a button or something. Maybe out of the screw. Next, we've got a custom, and it should be pretty straightforward what set this is from. Of course, it is the JPEG Custom SMG. Aiming down the sights here, not too much going on. And there's the reload. Next, we've got some Tommies for you, and this one's pinked up. It is the Informality Thompson. And yeah, as you can see, it says Informality there. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some pink cloth and a little police hand. Next, we've got a couple of MP5s for you. This first one here is cut out all awesome. You can see it has the kind of like special stock there. Aim down the sights, you've got a green tip. And there's that reload. Next, we've got a very bright orange one for you. This is the Combat Ready MP5. Aiming down the sights here, you've got very faded iron sights. A little bit of brown paint on the tip still. And there we go for the reload. Next, another MP5. I said we had a couple, and this one is the Bamboo Raid Graffiti. Man, that is quite a long name. You can see the big squishy raid there in the middle. Aiming down the sights, a black tip against the neon green. Next, we've got another MP5, and it is a familiar looking one. It is the Way of the Samurai continuation with their MP5. Aiming down the sights, you've got gold on gold with a black tip. There's that reload. Next, we've got one last MP5 for you, and this one is all rusted up. It is the Recon MP5, and it just really looks like something that fits right into Rust, including a little smiley face. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a very faded red tip against the rusting metal. Next, we've got some AKs. The first one here staring right back at you is the Savage Eyes AR. And we have a few different ones kind of like this. And yeah, this is just kind of your little snowy tiger. Aiming down the sights here, you've got the same blue in the eyes on the tip of the sight. Moving on, we've got another AK for you, and this one is designed beautifully to look like a tier 3, or at least like it was made out of scraps from one, which is really cool. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a button and a nice red tip to the sights. And there we pop a reload. Then we've got another AK for you, and this one's got some Cerberus on the side, and of course is the Cerberus AK. Whole thing's got flames all over it. And, of course, a stockless, as you can see. Aiming down the sights, you've got a nice orangey red with a kind of orangey black tip to it, I would say. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is a nice faded purple. This is the Mentation? Pinkmentation. Oh, you get pigmentation? Pinkmentation? Oh, I get it. And as you aim down the sights, you got some purple sights and a very suspiciously small pink handprint. Next, we've got a couple LRs, and this first one is the Glitz LR. And look at the shine on this thing. As you move around, it just picks up the sun. And it glitz and glitters. Ah, you get it? That's where the name comes from. Aiming down the sights, you've got this holographic ring. No, it's not holographic, but this is like very, very bright yellowy green with a very bright purpley pink. Can't miss those sights. Next, we've got another LR for you, and man, it is part of this dog set, and you either hate the good boy set or you love it. And I don't know how I feel about this one, because we've definitely got wiener and balls on here, so you know, at least you're not pulling the trigger and it's his wiener. Like the first one that made it in. I don't know. One way or another, there's a not so happy looking dog on the front sight there with a black tip on kind of a faded black. So not the most colorful tip. Next, we've got an L96 for you, and this one is part of the Matrix. No, the Cybercode set. And yeah, as you can see, it's all cyber-coded up. Even down the sights, there's actually a skull there. It's always nice when someone does put something there, even though I know if you're using an L9, I mean, you pretty much have at least 4 times, right? And moving on, we've got a big boy for you. It is the Police LMG, that's right. The M249 is here from the police set. Aiming down the sights, you've got a neon yellow tip. Once you reload it, there's some neon yellow bullets to go along with all the neon yellow from the police part. I mean, you've got to have that neon going on, right? And the last but not least, we've got a rocket launcher for you. And this one's the Jackpot rocket launcher. As you can see, it has the actual, like, slot machine. It even has the stakes at the front and cost. Aiming down the sights. Whoop. Or I could hit the reload button and skip it entirely. There we go. All right. Aiming down the sights here. And take one more look there. And we don't really have anything to shoot, so I'm just going to put a rocket up into the sky. There it goes. Look at it go. And boom. Boom? No? Boom. Okay, wow. One way or another, there it is. All right, everyone, sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping to make it into the shop this week and why. Always love hearing those comments, and if you have feedback, I'll try to get to the right people. Try to give me a little more detail than this sucks or I hate this. If you can give me a few more words, I can actually maybe try to do something about it. So, yeah, there's that. Thanks for watching. Stay rusty.